Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Python Study with me. So this episode is going to be all about object-oriented programming, in short OOP. What it is, and in this video I'm gonna explain all the concept, all the terminology. Might be all this term for you it's so confusing, you can't get it what it is, but to be honest, trust me, I'm gonna make it clear to you each terminology. So in this video I'm gonna use some AI tools, and also I code it how make it in action. So make sure you stick with this video to the end. So I'm gonna use 5 AI tools. First Grok, then ChatGPT, and Claude, then Gemini, and DeepSeek. So let's see what Grok says. Well, so object-oriented programming, in short OOP. So OOP is a way of structuring code where data and behavior function are bundled into objects. These objects are instances of classes which act as a blueprint. So, and this is the definition from Grok, and OOP promotes four things. This four concept is a pillar of object-oriented programming in any language or any programming language. These four things: one is encapsulation, second is inheritance, four is polymorphism, and third is polymorphism, and four is abstraction. So what encapsulation is? Well, bundling data and methods, restricting direct access to some component. So I'll cover in next episode all the things, but for now this is enough for now. And second is inheritance. So it is allowing a class to inherit attributes and methods from another class. Okay. And what is polymorphism? So this is the concept. It also allowing different classes to be treated as the instance of a common superclass. And what about abstraction? So hiding complex implementation details and exposing only necessary functionality. Okay, this four pillar is about object-oriented programming, right? Then understand what is object. Well, an object is an instance of a class representing a specific entity with attributes like data and methods like function. For example, if a class defines a car, an object would be a specific car like Toyota. What is class? A class is a blueprint for creating objects. It defines attributes like data and methods like function that the object created from the class will be. This is the two definition. Before explaining other things, I'll give you the real example. Actually, it is very helpful to understand. Let's what that ChatGPT says. So understanding object with real life example. Let's look around. We are surrounded by real world object. Like if I talk about myself, so right now next to me I have a phone, a cup, a book. These are physical things. But in programming, we can represent this using code object. Each of these things can have attributes, like details that describe them. For example, a phone could have a version number like 13. It could also have an attribute like is on or off, which tell us whether the phone is powered on or not, true or false, or even its price. And then let's say second one is a cup. So a cup could have a liquid inside it, such as coffee, the temperature of the cup, or whether it's empty or not. Let's say another example is a book. Book could have a title, it's a string like Harry Potter, or number of page, for example 30, 350. So in Python we can create objects like this and give them their own data using something called a class, right? So attributes and method. Okay, so as we describe here object and class. So class is a blueprint for creating object. It defines attribute like data and methods like function that the object created from the class will have. So then what is the constructor? So the constructor method, like the underscore, it's called dunder method. It's called dunder method. So double underscore called dunder. So the initiate method is a special method in Python called constructor that initialize a newly created object. It runs automatically when an object is instantiate, and it used to set initial value or values for attributes. So what are attributes? Well, attributes are a variable that belong to a class or object representing its properties or state. They can be instant attribute or class attributes. So if I talk about instant attributes, so each like unique to each object, instant attributes unique to each object, and class attributes shared across all objects of the class. Then what is the method? What are methods? So methods are functions defined within the class that describe the behaviors of an object. They operate on the object's attributes and can modify its state or perform action. Well, right. So let's go back to the example. So attributes versus method. So like objects don't just store information, they can also do things. These actions are called methods. Think of method or function that belong to an object. I think you can relate to that definition. So people often, so for example, with a phone, you can call, you make a call, you receive a call, you turn it on or you off. With a cup, you can fill it, drink from it or empty it. With a book, you can open it, read it or close it. That's called method. So method means it's action, right? So, and class in programming, right, you use class to create many similar objects. A class is like blueprint. It defines what kind of data, like attributes, and what kind of action, like method, the object will have. So this is the code. Let's say we define in our VS Code. It's a car class, right? So this code have defined class called car. So it's a car, and then a special method called dunder method, like it's a init method. So this is known as a constructor, and self refers to the current object being created. And then so let's create an object. Let's create an object inside this this object, right? So this is the class car, and this is the definition. It means method, and these are object. Okay, so I'll give you the grok code. So I think it's, let me paste it grok. So here, well, so this is the class definition. Okay, it's a class with bank account, and then class attribute shared by all instances. So this is the, as I told you, the definition says, there are two types of attributes: instant attributes and class attributes. So class attributes are shared across all objects of the class. So heritage, it's class attributes. And then constructor, I think you know the definition as we explained. As self, it's so these are parameter. Okay, these self, account holder and balance. So and these are instant attributes: self.account, self.balance. These are instant attribute, and this is the method. method 1, the method 2, method 3, and method 4, right? So we write 4 method. So method generate a simple account number for demo purpose, okay? So method to deposit money, method to withdraw money, method to display account details, right? And then creating object instead of bank account. Then if you run the code, then yes, you can see the detail. Let me show you. Yeah, bank, global bank, account number holder LIC Smith, account number this number, balance this, deposit this, new balance there, withdraw this, new balance this, and yeah, bank global, yeah. So this way we can define all the terminology. Just these are things I'll show you, but I'll explain to you. Don't worry. Just I show you how we can write a code. Let's read out the things. Okay, so class bank account is a class. So and defining the blueprint for the bank account. So it's a blueprint of bank. So it's a global bank, right? And then object account 1, account 2 are object instance. So object and instance are similar words. Somebody use object, somebody use instance, but most of the developer use instance of the bank account class representing individual account. For here the answer is Alice and Bob. And constructor, the init method initialize each account with an account holder's name and initialize balance default 0 and then generate account number. Attribute, a class attribute bank name is shared by all account global bank, and instant attribute like account holder, balance, account number are unique to each other, each object. And method generate account, generate a random account number, deposit adds money to the balance if the amount is valid, and then withdraw deducts money if the amount is valid and sufficient funds exist, and display details return a format string using account information. So this is all about from Grok.